something, but it is that time again. Welcome, people. Welcome to Connecting the Dots on National Broadcaster DBS Radio. Let's hope I hear Nigel when he comes on. We're trying to ensure that everything is in order. And so we greet you on another lovely, lovely Saturday. We are on. Yes, we are on Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. Today is the 6th day in the month of December. It's our turn to run City Days business. It's our turn to connect once more. All you come a while, look Nigel and Ivona on radio, on Facebook and on YouTube as well. I'm sitting in the Ted Daily studio. There's a Christmas spirit in that studio. I'm sure you can see it, eh? You can even see the spirit, not just feel the spirit, you can see it. Take a seat, souple. No loitering today. Hold your blankets if you're feeling cold, wherever you are. There's a jacket under the Christmas tree. In fact, a pack of jackets. We have Kako tea and we have bakes this morning. I have a special dish, seaweeds and roast breadfruits. I may just share with Nigel. Yes, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. But best I say, it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. Because the fouetty at night and the early morning is a big reminder. Yeah, you can say I have company, right? Handsome young man. So I am sitting comfortably in the Ted Daily studio and Nigel is somewhere out there. Help me welcome Nigel Suple. Nigel Francis, come a while.
Hey, what's up? Morning.
Morning, Nigel. Well, Nigel, today I'm sharing seaweeds and roast breadfruit. So if you want...
Oh, no, not today, today.
Yes, Carlisle, I'll bring that for me, Carlisle. So...
Well, he off the program.
Carlisle said none for Nigel.
He off the program.
And he did not say none for Mr. Francis. Carlisle said none for Nigel today.
Oh, I will do some breadfruit. No, some bread nuts. No, man.
Man.
Yes. Can you believe when I was home a couple months back, last month, whatever it is, and I was home there and I was walking, looking for bread nuts. I go by the market, can't find bread nuts. I pass by East Shilling. They tell me go buy East Shilling for downstairs of a lady. I passed there, the lady left already. So I didn't get any bread nuts, man. That's one of my favorite things. So thank you, Carla. I appreciate it.
Yes, Carla ensured that he brought some something for you to eat. Because Carla realized I was hungry in that studio there.
Yes.
So Nigel, anytime you realize I've disappeared or I bend to hide my face, just know it's blows on seaweeds and bread nuts. Boy.
Man,
so yes,
good thing.
But you have to
bread
rub nuts and roast bread
yes. You have to roll the seaweed until it gets soft enough.
Man. Oh my goodness.
Yes. I wonder if people remember that. Or they used to always say that thing, man.
You have to roll it and roll it.
Yes, you have to roll it until it gets soft enough.
Squeeze it with your fingers
or squeeze it with your fingers to make sure. Yes.
Those were the days, eh? But there's
Those
a lot.
Days.
We don't have a lot of seaweeds like before, obviously. People build and, they cut down the trees and all of that. But there's still a lot. There's a guy who normally goes, set up one of the supermarkets in Roseau and he sells these big ones, Nigel. Really, really pretty. Red, burgundy, purple, their colors. And I tell you, really sweet.
Yes. I better put in a request now for when I come down.
Okay.
So I can have some when I come down next year, whatever it is, carnival, whatever.
Okay,
I better putting in a request right now, okay?
Yes. I think it's still
whoever is listening, please make sure that when I come down, I have some bread nuts
and bread nuts
and seaweeds. Thank you very much.
Nigel, by the way, let's go.
What village is popular for that now?
When I used to stay at Eggleston, Eggleston was very popular for that, Jodel Eggleston. So I know that there are other communities, obviously, where you can find a lot of this still. But I know for sure Jodel and Eggleston had a lot of seaweeds. So, yeah.
Yes, I wonder how they come up with that name too, anyway.
Well, it's Dominican thing. But Nigel, let's congratulate the West Indies for pulling off a draw in a match that was not looking good for us at all, Let us thank Justin.
It was almost impossible.
It was, yes, Papa, when I saw that, I checked in what? Hour?
570 something.
But let us thank Justin Greaves.
They found the way. They
Yes,
found the
yes.
way. I mean, the bowlers actually did it for us with the bats.
Yeah.
So they were bowling and batting.
And batting, yes. Shea Hope, Justin Greaves, thank you so much, for helping restore sense of pride and purpose.
Kema Roach
as well.
putting
Messi.
up the fight and doing this for us.
So the fans are not crying today, Nigel. They stayed up and enjoyed the game.
Yes. At least it wasn't. We were not defeated. So that's good.
Yes, and that's what I want. You're right.
That's what matters. And of course, the under 19 team has been doing very well as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's a good. It's a better spirit for us right now.
Yeah, better spirit. Of course, that's it.
In this
yes, at least, it's a better spirit for us right now. So, Nigel, by the way, I met a guy, Nigel, who is priming up for the Calypso eliminations. It's next Saturday, right? Next Saturday.
Yes,
and remember how
right. Yes, eliminations
Nigel,
on the 13th. Yeah.
If you hear this song, Nigel, this song
is song about you?
No, my papa.
Oh.
I met the guy yesterday, but Nigel, he stopped me. I
didn't sing the song for you.
I said, "Father, I'm busy." I said, "Just come on here, that's a white man." I said, "Anyway, Nigel, this song all over the place." Nigel, this song is like a Bele. I hope you don't listen, right?
It don't have no start and no end.
Nigel, you should see my expression. Nigel, his voice, his voice can suffice, But Nigel, too many words. I mean, the lyrical content, fella.
He goes straight for lyrics.
No, boy, Nigel. This
he
story,
have more lyrics than anything else.
No, Nigel, words. The thing is so convoluted. The narrative is just all over the place, Nigel. Boy. But the partner confident that he's moving on to the
well, that's the main thing, The main part about it is to have that confidence. That's his movement.
I tell you, that's his movement, Nigel. But
that's his moment that he'll be having on Saturday.
But at the end, I tell him, but you have a lot of work to do, so you still have a lot of work to do. I mean, he agreed, Nigel, but
he agreed. He has a lot of work to do.
Nigel, everything in one hole. Who sang that song? You remember that song, Everything in One Hole? Say, well, Lily, Papa Lily, everything in. Who sang that? Was it Natty?
One hole.
Carlisle, who sang that? You remember Carlisle?
Oh yes, everything in one hole. Everything in one hole.
But Carlisle not hearing me, man. What?
Everything in one hole.
Yeah, Carlisle, you remember who sang Everything in One Hole?
Everything in one hole.
Was it Natty?
I can't recall.
I think it's Natty,
No. I don't think it's Natty.
Anyway.
It's not Natty for sure.
Oh, not Natty. No. Okay, I can't. Everything.
No.
Somebody else said.
I mean, I know there's one that's everything is one come, yes. Is the same whole.
Well, Lily, Papa Lily. Natty. Look, somebody telling me Natty. Of course, it's Natty. I know my Calypso, But Natty sang Boogie Low Down and those kind of songs there. But Natty also had everything in one hole. Boogie Low Down on the street jumping on Carnival. You remember that song?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Boy, Natty has Natty has a great album, Natty had that. Natty put down that album there and just talking about Castro and Cuba and Viva Cuba and Boogie Down and man, Natty had
What I keep forgetting to tell you is
Alaska.
That oh yes, great songs. Something about he had something about the president, was it? I can't remember. But anyway, what I forgot to tell you, because remember we have invited Natty many times. Nigel, there were Saturdays when the show finished, Natty outside there waiting. Where? Natty would come in my office sometimes in the week and need to be ready for the show, Yes, boy. Anyway, we have fun today,
I'm telling you, this Calypso.
But Nigel, remember back in the day.
But there was no. But you remember we were supposed to have Lily? Or did we have Lily? I'm trying to remember.
But it's Lily. I should say. Lily, about coming to the office. We had invited President Lily, right? We had invited President Lily, right? And he comes after the program.
Yes, after.
Yeah. But Nigel, you remember back in the day when the eliminations was considered a comical event, yeah? But times have changed. There's still an element of comedy, but the show is a big vibes there. But
the show, especially because you have guys who, because they didn't make it to the next round, they have to come back and start the elimination. So it's kind of changed the way people view eliminations now. But I remember eliminations time. I mean,
every time I hear the word eliminations, I start starting to laugh. Seriously. I remember
from the first cut into the
Nigel, I remember one year, and it happened many years, for many years, but not just 1 year. But a guy came, and he was like, "Papala, pala, pala, pala," and he stopped. Then he's singing, "Papala." Whoosh, that was his song. Whoosh. The crowd, and the crowd can be. So they tell you, "Come on, dear boy."
He's still waiting for the song.
The song never came. Wow.
I read the judges should have put him through, man.
No, I tell you.
He might take his step to go and sing Papa La La La.
Yeah. And some fellas would, and some of them bold with stuff unless it song like is the musician's fault, but
Yeah, they
really,
would stop and say, hey,
boy,
hey.
yeah. Take it again, man. He call me Papa La. Well, let me leave that alone. No, when I should like crying.
That's what they said.
Yes.
That's when the time Alfred used to play brass in their mouth. Pam pa dam pam pam pa dam pam pa. I never see fellas play parts of a brass like that in the drum.
Nigel, let's leave that alone. I can't play with.
I don't even know I could blow like that, man. You really first to play that spots, that brass and that trumpet.
Yes.
In between the song.
Boy, I saw things already as eliminations.
I think that's the best show, actually.
I am hot.
That is the best show, man,
Oh my goodness.
But it's a nice mix now.
Yes, Nigel, anybody on the book, let us leave that alone time. Nigel, anybody on the book or the tube?
Yes, no. Let me recover. And then let's play that, singing that with confidence,
Where? No, who tell me to bring up that eliminations thing?
But who tell you to bring that up, No, you have been a problem, Hold on.
Let's check the book, then Dominica Corner will bring on Carlisle.
Yes. Yes. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Hetty Lawrence. Hey, good morning, City, the family. Good morning to you as well, Hetty. Appreciate you. Just a wee boy, I'm looking forward to Calypso eliminations. Hetty, Nigel, come to Canada for bread nut. You're right in Canada, you have bread nut. Okay, come in. And John Lewis, good morning. She says she wants some series as well. That's when we were talking about series earlier. Good morning, Edwin in London, of course in Texas, Houston, Texas, and our good friend and unofficial PRO, Miguel Murphy. Grand rising to you as well. Alicia Griffith was on very early
She lucky
this morning.
because she got a detention last week.
Last week she got a detention.
Yes.
She says because she was.
He there, no, by the way, he there?
He not there, huh?
Okay.
He not there yet.
Detention.
David Hector, good morning to you. Of course, saying hi especially to these beautiful people from in Soufriere. Shills Jules, of course. Good morning to you. Says eliminations is the best. She enjoyed that. And Hetty Lawrence have given both you and I a detention for making her laugh so much. Brenda Webster, good morning as well. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. Next week, Saturday at the eliminations. Those of you in the YouTube, sorry, I keep forgetting you, but good morning to you as well. Elizabeth Thomas and all the others who are on YouTube. I'll try to find you in a little bit. But good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to Connecting the Dots. Yeah. Appreciate you here. All right, let's see. Who's on YouTube? I think I should go there quickly. Yes, let me see if I can go there whilst we recover still.
Yes.
Yes, that was a good one. Thank you, Calypso Association, and thank you, Calypsonians. Yeah. All right, you ready for the Omega Corner?
Yes, I feel like laughing still, but yes, my turn. Oh boy. Every time I'm laughing like that, I just thinking of K1 as well. We really have to have K1 on the show, and it's around that season, around the Calypso season, because I know they will not see us. We will be flat down. We'll be flat. Anyway, Dominica Corner. What is the middle name of today's guest? So our
Read
guest
one,
is Carlisle Jno Baptiste, the one Carlisle Jno Baptiste. What
These
is
are so
the
much middle names. Which one I
Yes,
got
Carlisle's a
given this
middle.
morning?
Very interesting name, you know, by the way. And very interesting.
Very interesting name. Carlisle. Carlisle Trouble Jno Baptiste.
Carlisle's. He said, "You know what you're going to get that way." Of course, there are people, but
what is that again?
It starts with I, like Ivona. It starts with I, like Ivona. But some people, if you remember a church name like a bishop, there was a bishop of what is Antioch. No, when you hear Carlisle, a middle name. Starts with I.
Man.
Think of what that's like a Roman Empire, something like that, you know.
Itoma.
No. Although he's in that league now, he's a weatherman, you know. But it's a Bible
Ignatius.
name.
Ignatius is the man's second name.
Somebody give me the answer.
I remember that from I remember that.
You taught Carlisle at school.
From a time.
Oh yes, you taught Carlisle
I remember
at school.
that from a time, man.
But do you see Carlisle as an Ignatius?
What's that?
Do you see Carlisle as an Ignatius? Would you say Ignatius?
No, he's not an Ignatius at all. But
yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know how well. Maybe that's why he's stuck with Carlisle.
Yeah.
Carlisle, Ignatius. Yes, Ignatius is the middle name.
I think it means something like.
Ignatius. I remember it was if it wasn't an assembly or something or somewhere.
Yeah.
And Mr. Luckett called the full name.
Yes. But you know Carlisle was troublesome too, eh?
That's what I'm. When you troublesome, right? You call you the full name.
Carlisle was well known, but and stories there today. We boy just not bringing on Carlisle because let me tell you something.
They call him up to the top.
Yes. Carlisle Jno Baptiste, Ignatius Jno Baptiste.
Jno Baptiste.
I think it means something like passion, like when you have a lot of passion, enthusiasm, like a joie de vivre kind of thing. And I think
okay, well, that is him.
Yes,
that is him. Yes. That is him. That is definitely him. Yes.
Next question.
So I get that one right.
What is Carlisle's sobriquet? His moniker, his nickname. Apart from being Ignatius, really, what is his nickname?
Well, you have a lot, you know.
Yeah, there's one.
There's one that everybody calls him. Let me see. Help me out, somebody. Help me out.
It starts with the letter Z. Z.
Z. Oh, Z. You know Z. So you can't be that.
You see, you that saying that. When you see Carlisle, I put on Carlisle.
Carlisle take it by foot.
Carlisle give to you. So, this Carlisle's nickname. Somebody can help you on the live, you know.
Z. But it's starting with a Z. For all you said. So for us said. So something, you know.
Zako.
Okay. All right.
But somebody call in, man. Let me see what that person calling to say there. Yeah? Hello, connecting the dots.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Ivo.
Hey.
I was just about to call to tell you
Zako, okay, you correct. We'll have to give you a prize, man.
No, that's my schoolmate, you know. That's my schoolmate.
Well, who's on there then? Well, if his color is your schoolmate, I should know who is that.
He will tell you,
Okay,
that's Henderson Desiree.
Hey, Henderson Desiree, so well I haven't seen you. Okay, Papa.
Yeah,
and you know all the stories.
I'd like to give you a story. I'm going to give you the story in grammar school.
Hey, Papa. Give it to us quickly.
Well, I remember we used to play the afternoon cricket. Afternoon cricket, and then I remember Richard.
Richard Toussey,
yes.
And then Carlisle was a little trouble. And Carlisle picked up all the little free wickets. They picked up all the little free wickets.
Yes. I remember that. That was like the conversation in the school, the entire school.
Yeah. Anyway, let me say congrats to him again because he has been having a good program in the communication.
Yeah.
Yes,
as they
call it.
Yes, at the ODM, the Office of Disaster Management.
And my good friend Spokes. Well, you know who Spokes?
Yes.
Gerald George.
Of course, and you know Carlisle and Gerald, they go hand in hand.
Yeah. And he was a good PRO for the association.
Yeah, man.
Let me say congrats to both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old boy, she play enough cricket, we do enough things together.
Okay.
So,
Nice,
I
nice.
enjoy the program every Saturday.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you, man.
And let me say hello to Nigel. Nigel, I forget him.
Yeah.
I met him on the, how many times for the Independence season.
Yes, he was like a passepartout. Every
Let me have a good day.
take
Yes,
care.
morning, bro. Morning
Take
to you
care.
too.
So all of us have to say so. We so Nigel Francis. Anyway, next question quickly. As we bring on Carlisle, look at the time already. Listen carefully, please, and just answer. But when you're answering, please put some emphasis in the answer. I mean, say it with pride, okay? Which high school did Carlisle Jno Baptiste attend? I mean, that is simple. Just say it. No long story. Just give me the answer. You'll get some additional points for that.
Yes, he attended. Pam, pa, pam, pam, pam.
He attended.
Yes. So yes. Carlisle attended the Dominica Grammar School.
Right, the greatest of all builders.
Yeah.
By the way,
He
Carlisle has to
attended
sing the school
DGS.
song for us, the first.
Yes, he attended the DGS, and so we appreciate him attending DGS.
True or false? Carlisle is from Penville.
You can never tell, he could be,
Whoosh.
False.
So where's Carlisle from?
He from another P.
Okay, very good, Nigel. Well, let's bring on Carlisle, because you see that thing there, boy. Carlisle boy stories there today. I mean, yeah, seriously. Carlisle is a very decorated, very well-rounded individual. A lot of people know Carlisle, and Carlisle has done a lot in different spheres. So you see Carlisle now as a renowned journalist, but Carlisle has done a lot. Carlisle, anyway, we'll give you the story. So Carlisle Jno Baptiste is one whom I would describe as what, Nigel? Effervescent, He has a joie de vivre. There's a free spirit about Carlisle. Always on the move. He's bold. He's forthright. He may mortar, he may parley. That is Carlisle. So I met Carlisle when I went to the Dominica Grammar School. And after that, we spent 5 years together at the greatest of all builders, the Dominica Grammar School.
Today's already for that.
I know, yeah. So, and outside of school, though, we traveled extensively. Carlisle and I, we benefited, from a lot of travels. We benefited from a lot of frequent flyer miles back in the day as well. Boy, I can talk you, Nigel. Carlisle, let's bring on Carlisle. Nigel, bring on Carlisle. What can he party like it's my program?
Yeah, you should give the Carlisle students some of those words there. But yes, Carlisle has made his mark. I mean, in terms of, sports and journalism, and other areas of community building. So it's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Carlisle Ignatius Zako Jno Baptiste. Welcome to Connecting the Dots. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nigel. Good morning to Ivons. I have a correction.
We want you.
And that correction is that actually my middle name is Carlisle.
Oh, your middle name is Carlisle.
And it happened. I'll tell you. That's why I told you no one would have gotten it.
Okay.
It actually happened without even, it just happened. I went to get my baptismal certificate at church, and when I went there, Father John Bergmans gave it to me, and when I looked at it, I saw he put Ignatius Carlisle Jno Baptiste. I said, you know what? I'm not going to change that. And so it stayed. So all my official documents are Ignatius Carlisle Jno Baptiste. So when I was refereeing all along the road, you'll hear the referee is Ignatius Jno Baptiste. So actually, officially, Carlisle is my second name. But like I said, my mother named me Carlisle Ignatius Jno Baptiste. But for the priest, I don't know.
Must be something in those journalists. You have another journalist, that's very close to you, whose middle name is his first name, and his first name is his middle name. So good morning to you, youngster.
Felix.
Yeah.
Yes, Felix Curtis.
Felix Curtis.
Ignatius, but I cannot see Carlisle.
Something with them.
So we would have been saying Ignatius, but then we would have gotten accustomed to it. But
Well, just like
Carlisle
you.
now.
Just like
Carlisle,
you.
if you see second by second my other name on radio, there, Carlisle.
Just like you.
We fighting. Boy,
Because
I don't know what my mother was thinking.
when I
Say
got
it,
when I heard
Say it, Carlisle.
Ivona, I'm
Shall I
saying,
say it?
just now when I heard Ivona, I'm saying, but who is Ivona? So I remember
Say the
asking,
middle name. Say the middle
I
name.
said, but what I know in grammar school was Merlin. It's Merlin. I always
Who
knew
tell
her.
us to invite Carlisle to
That's how,
Boy.
it's Merlin.
Yes, I don't know where my mother get that name.
It's a good name.
Hey, Merlin.
Merlin Jno Baptiste.
Merlin Jno Baptiste.
Yes,
Yes. I remember Merlin though.
Right.
Yes. And then after that I got to know Ivona. But I remember Merlin at school.
Yeah. So
Nigel,
everybody knew me as Merlin back then.
You remember that phrase, Wadi's poetry analysis? Come,
Of
let
course.
we study literature. Who?
You remember that, Carlisle? Wow,
You see?
man. What is poetry
Carlisle has
analysis? What is poetry? It begins with the verb and what it really
Right.
means.
So,
The
yes.
subject that it covers is what we call the theme.
Yes.
Because you taught me
man,
literature,
Carlisle,
you see?
give me memories
Let me
back
study.
then.
Yes, literature.
That's when I
yes.
taught literature. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Wow. Carlisle, where do we begin with Carlisle? From the very beginning?
Who's Carlisle Jno
From the very
Baptiste?
beginning.
Who are
Begin
you?
from the very beginning.
Who are you, Carlisle?
Well, I was born in the community of Point Michel. In the middle of, my mother has 8 children, and I'm in the middle. So some of them will always say that my mother loved me more, because they say my mother would always, everywhere she would go, she would take me with her. And up till a day like today, Monday to Friday, I eat lunch at my mother's place, and Sunday, I have breakfast there. Every single day. That's where I eat. If I travel, when I come back, my food is there. So I'm in the center, and I would always get, even when my mother cooks, she gives me a lot of meat. I love that. I love that. So I'm in the center. So you have Joseph, Wilfred, Josephine, and Carlisle. And then after Carlisle, you have Venice, Selma, Doreen, and Dorina. I think Doreen is in England. She's listening right now. Good morning to her. So Dorina is the last. And although you know Dorina is small. Doreen is small, Dorina is big. But Doreen is the last.
Okay.
And my mother is still very much alive, 78 years and going.
That's wonderful. Cherish that.
Oh, yes.
Carlisle, how far back can you recall your growing up days, obviously? Maybe preschool. Can you remember even preschool?
Yes, I remember that vividly. Teacher Fordis and Teacher Valentine. We used to live by the cemetery. So as a result of that, my mother would, and we knew exactly where a number of persons would have been buried. So when they would come to dig graves, my mother would always move across and say, no, pala, fossa pokobon, munsa pokobon, kitesa. So, and then there was a tamarind tree across, and there was a mango tree. We used to call it mango glokawaf.
Mango glokawaf.
Yes, it was kind of watery. It was kind of watery, and people would pass up there and go across to the school. So there was a little track taking you straight across to the school at that time, and in those days, so I would leave for school. I used to fight a lot. Always, when you hear he gas, I was always in a fight. I don't know why. And you know, those were the days. And then you used to have the cut books, my mother, because you know we came from a poor family, so the books she would cut it in two and give that to us, share it, so we could go to school. So it was tough days, I can tell you, really, really tough days. But and then I became the first of my mother's children to attend secondary school. So the others never did. So I was the first to attend secondary school, and then Dorina was the other one. So only 2 of my mother children attended secondary school. So of course I attended the Dominica Grammar School from St. Luke's Primary.
You have to say that again.
From St. Luke's Primary, St. Luke's Primary in 1982 that was 7th of September 1982. I remember that day very, very well. And I went to the Dominican Grammar School. I came 237 on island. Those days you would know your number. And a lot of persons thought that I had gotten a bursary. But I don't know what happened. And of course, my mother could not afford. So I remember Mr. Eardley Blanchard, may God bless his soul, of St. Vincent de Paul, and he assisted, and the Save the Children. Of course, I was part of Canadian Save the Children Fund, and
I remember your number.
237 on the island.
No, you're at the Canadian Children Fund, the Save the Children.
I don't remember.
My own was WID 143.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
Yes. So, we would get a little help. And this group that would help children, I forget, they still have it today, assisting children. They also assisted in my going to the Dominican Grammar School because, like I said, my mother just could not afford. And I just did what I had to do. Even going to church, I remember going to church without shoes. Seriously, without shoes. And I made it my duty to always go to church. And always go to church. And up till a day like today, and Atiko named me Zaku because there was this lady, what's her name? She's dead now. Mita Charles. She would sing loudly in church. And she said, you will become a priest. And for whatever reason, I just loved seeing the priest and everything, and so I wanted to be a priest. That was my first passion, to be a priest. And there was this priest, Father Rene Vandenberg, who I also loved, and he really took care of me. But he left Dominica in 1981. That same year, my mom left for Aruba. And I remembered going to the airport with my mom, and I really cried because I was so attached to her. In 1981, IL took us to that airport, and when we had to leave Point Michel at about 3 in the morning, because those days, the flight was way down, but then the road was terrible. So IL took us to the airport at 3 in the morning, and my mother went to Aruba, and I'm like, really, what am I going to do without my mother? And my aunt Sylvania, who died, she was the one taking care of me, and but my mother, she did not stay long. She spent 8 months in Aruba because she said she could not, it was difficult for her, and so she came back to Dominica. And when Father Vandenberg passed, he went back to Brussels. Of course, I went to the Dominican Grammar School. So in 82, because I would have definitely gone to SMA. And then, but fate did that. I went to grammar school, one of the best secondary schools on Ireland. And yes, I have to rub it in. And so I met, everybody. I mingled, and here I am today. And then I got involved in sports, very much involved in sports, and used to love cricket commentary. Always used to have a radio listen. I knew the scores. I used to imitate Henry Blofeld and Christopher Martin Jenkins, and just hearing them. And then I just started to do commentary, self-taught, on my own. Whenever you wanted the score, Mr. Savre would say, ask Carlisle. He knows the score. I stayed up listening to cricket all night. I just loved that game. And so I left grammar school in 1987, and I said, you know what? It was so difficult, I need to get myself work to do. And I got employed immediately at Antilles Cement. My salary was $600.
Pause, Carlisle. Pause a little before you go to the work, because we have a lot to talk about grammar school.
You had to go back to the Dominican Grammar School.
Today's your moment.
I remember you have to sing.
Of course, I can sing the school song. And I can sing also the school song of St. Luke's School. I can sing it good. I know the songs. Yes, Nigel.
Yeah. No, I was telling you because I wanted to go back a little to the St. Luke's School in terms of primary school and some of the nursery rhymes, because I wanna like nursery rhymes and that the little kids used to sing. Do you remember any of those when you were in St. Luke's?
really, you know.
Carlisle, you mean you can remember Jack Spratt?
Well, yes, and
Understand
there was one I used to always see, you know. When I remember it, I'll tell you.
Because whilst we used to recite this at preschool, even at primary school level, we also used to say, like, you know, those things there. Hickory dickory dock.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse,
motion of the clock, yeah.
clock, and so on and so on. Yes, and well, in St. Luke's School, I was taught by teacher Philippa. In fact, I'll tell you what. In 1979, Hurricane David, I was 9, and then again, my mother got an opportunity to go to Martinique. You know, we went on a boat. So my mother took me with her. So I went to Martinique, was schooled there for, I think, about 3 or 4 months. Came back to Dominica, and they put me in, I think it was grade 5 or 4. And that is where I met Gerald George, actually. The teacher told me, go sit next to Gerald George. I said, who's that person? And I sat next to him, and we just became friends from there. So from there, that was teacher Philippa's class, and then I moved on to teacher Vilna's class, yes, and then teacher Mary's class, the common entrance class. So then it was grade 5, teacher Philippa, grade 6, teacher Vilna, and I got plenty blows, I can tell you that. There was a brown belt, and teacher Vilna would pull your hand and really hit you with that. She used to sing that. Teacher Vilna actually is Bettilia's mom. Bettilia Mackenzie's mom, and you know, and teacher Mary used to have a ruler, and she would really sting you with that. And you know, in those days, when you in the older children, when the teacher is not there, the older children would come and teach you. And so also, I got some licks from Janice Lafleur in Loubier. Because, like I said, I was very troublesome, talkative, and Janice would have none of it. And when Janice comes to teach you, you better listen, because she will really spank you. So St. Luke's School, you know, I got blows, really. And teacher Mary would say, "Me wap on kamem." Indeed, I had no choice but to learn.
Interesting.
So you've always been the troublesome?
Always. I tell you, I was fighting. Once you hear Higas. 9 out of 10, it would be Carlisle Jno Baptiste. And I have a little scar on my right hand. There. It was because of a fight. I was fighting with someone, and I think I broke a bottle. Very troublesome, and then the bottle cut me at school, and the bottle cut me, so I got 3 stitches. I'll never forget that on my hand, my right hand.
Okay, let's go back to high school, secondary school, at the Dominica Grammar School. I mean, there's a lot I remember, because you cannot go to school with Carlisle Jno Baptiste, whether you're in the first form at the time Carlisle is in 4th form. You know, or even the older ones like Laff Isaac, you know, Darwin Telemac and those guys. Once Carlisle is at a school, you had to know. So everybody had to just know Carlisle. He was one of the popular guys in school. There are so many stories. I mean, we don't have to dwell too much, you know, on the stories. But Carlisle, in terms of your education at the Dominica Grammar School, in terms of you just being in that space at the Dominica Grammar School, what is your fondest memory? What always comes to mind when you think about, you know, your time spent at secondary school?
Well, I'll tell you. In fact, my troublesomeness, I brought it to grammar school, and I'll tell you very early. I remember you know, in the yard, there was this big tree. Ivona, you remember this big tree? The big tree down the 6th form college area. Yes, there was this big tree there, and Louis Coppel, you know, he did me something, nothing to talk about, you know. And I said, man, you don't know who you're dealing with. I just slapped him. And my 5 fingers printed, you know, Louis was really white. My 5 fingers printed on his face.
But Kala, you were a troublemaker?
I was just troublesome. And Mr. Arundel Thomas, Louis went to cry because he didn't know what to do. And Mr. Arundel Thomas, who was our year head at that time, I think it was in 1st form, and he called me. He said, I'm not going to hit you, you know, but I'm going to tell you, the next person you raise your hand on, I'm going to cut that hand for you. I reminded him, And he said, go back to your class and never put your hand on anybody again. I never did that. And you know, grammar school was really, really fun. I mean, the likes of Henderson, Desiree, and Richard Toussaint, and I mean, you just name it. Gerald George. Gerald George went to grammar school together with me, and Vincent Richards. So out of the St. Luke's School group, Gerald George, Carlisle Jno Baptiste, and Vincent Richards. Vincent is a pastor now. He's from Loubier. He's the brother of Brian Richards. Brian is a vet. And so we were the only three who went to the Dominica Grammar School. So Gerald and myself, we continued that good friendship, that good tradition. And Gerald would always bring my recess for me, my bread, because his father was a baker at that time. So Gerald, I mean, like I said, I really did not have what it took. And it was very difficult. So Gerald would, every day, when he comes to school, I was assured to get recess from Gerald George. So that is a guy I will never, ever forget. And even on a Sunday, when Gerald would be selling Mastiff, his bread on a Sunday, he would be selling bread on a Sunday. He passes at home and he ensures I get a Mastiff bread. Somehow or the other, I would always get that bread.
Wow. You all go way back.
Yes.
Way back.
So I mean, my days at grammar school with Gerald George and, you know, all these guys there, I even getting into athletics, I think Gerald was the one who sort of pushed me, because I ran one time and Gerald was quick. Gerald could really run a 100 meter. And I tried that. I think I came, even if there was a number after last, I was not able to. I just came last, Kakarat. And then Gerald said, you know what? Why don't you try the long distance? And that is where I excelled, in long distance. It was difficult to beat me. The only person who beat me.
I remember you as being one of the better long
country
distance.
as well.
Yes,
Cross
the only
country,
person who
very
beat me at that time was Lindy Joseph.
Oh yes, he was. Oh, Lindy from Point Michel.
Yes, from
as
Point
well.
Michel.
Yes. He was a
But
beast.
800 meters, 1500 meters, 5,000 meters, cross country, blues. I would whip them.
Kala, do you remember the school song? Do you want to sing a verse for us?
The greatest of all builders, God with his rod, with his mighty hands, all that you see around us in sky and sea and land, the mansion he made was perfect, nor could it be otherwise. He from his deep foundation made visible with patience a school for you and I. That is just verse number 1. And even St. Luke's School, St. Luke's School song, it goes like this. We are marching in close ranks together. We stand for the good and the pure and the great. Our hearts lifted high, St. Luke's standard forever. As onward we strive to uphold heaven's gates. Our tasks are completed and duty well done. With joy and we gather, we march in the sun. Our school we hold so dear, its message stands so clear. We treasure all its teachings and praise God for his blessings. We want to be victorious and gain of task all glorious. Ideal hands we follow, we always stand for. Our front St. Luke's School building, the motto will be ringing. With God and country we will stand forevermore. St. Luke's School.
Very good, Carlisle. I mean, it's a good thing you did not choose singing as your career.
Well,
you held your own nicely.
yes.
Very good,
Yeah,
Carlisle.
listen, I was about during it when he was pausing, I was going to say pa-da-da-dam-dam when he was
No, you're not going to hear that.
Yes,
played it brass for you.
Nigel, I'm
But
I'm looking at the book, Nigel. There's a very interesting comment from Jimmy Fingers. Probably you could just go through it. In fact, he has two comments. It follows.
Oh, yes. Very interesting. Yeah, it says, Carlisle Jno Baptiste, I can relate to your story. Poverty. Canadians save the children, going to school with half an exercise book. First of my parents' children, with a family of 10, to go to secondary school, only boy. My last 3 sisters after me went to secondary school. Now look at where I am today. Poverty should never determine your future. You have the ability to change your circumstances. God is always good. His mercies is boundless. Yes, definitely so. So, I mean, relating to your situation and many others who, might have grown up with less, but did not make that deter them from moving on and pushing on and trying to do the best that they can.
And I always say to myself, the struggles that I went through, I do not want my children to go through that. I have 4 of them, and I have Yasmin, who's in St. Martin. I have Krishana, who's a teacher, and she has 2 children. She's married. I have Clyde. You probably know Clyde, who does photography. Very good guy. And of course, I have Akira. Clyde went to St. Luke's School. Unfortunately, none of my children went to the Dominica Grammar School. And I'll tell you why. At that time, grammar school was just, the things I was hearing about grammar school, I said, no, I do not want to have my children going through that. The things I was hearing about grammar school. So I said, I'm not going to have my children go to grammar school. But Clyde went to St. Luke's School, so he followed me at the St. Luke's School. He got a bursary, and then he went to SME. Yes, he went to SME. Krishana went.
That's okay.
Krishana went to St. Martin's Primary and then to St. Martin's Secondary. And Akira, who is 16 years, she went to St. Martin's Primary. She got a bursary and then to Convent High School. So that's my last. She's 16 years.
Daddy Carlisle. Where do we go to now, Nigel? There's so much we have
By the way, Leah Lewis tells you, Uncle Carlisle.
That's my niece.
Ma is watching.
Yes, that's my niece.
I'm guessing Ma must be your mom, right?
Yes, Ali is my niece.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay. Mother is watching as well.
All right. So,
yeah,
she's saying hello as well.
Yeah, we call her Ma.
Last thing on Dominica Grammar School, look at it, because you were involved in sports there as well. You were on the cricket team and so on.
I played cricket.
What's like for you at Dominica Grammar School?
I played cricket for grammar school. I even played cricket under 19 cricket for Point Michel. Because of my athletics prowess, I was at one time on reserve for I think it was the Carifta Games. Yeah, one time that games it was supposed to have been held in Trinidad, and Havis Shillingford and Emmanuel Low Black, they were the coaches then, and you used to get up early morning to really find yourself there. And I played football for grammar school, and I'll give you a little story. Grammar school played intermediates football, and in those days, I was not skillful, but just stamina. So Mr. What's his name? Mr. Savre said, okay, you can play. So he put me on the team, and the only goal we scored, Ian Pascal, who works on the port, scored that goal, a penalty. But I got the ball and I started to move, and I found myself in the penalty area, and I was pitted very small. And guess who was the defender? John Low Black. He just pitched me. I mean, I was no match. He just, I think they said he leave a pity me at. Jolo said, you're not passing me there. And it was Buffet State, and we got 6-1. Buffet State pounded us 6-1. The only goal was this penalty that we got, and Ian Pascal, who could kick. Ian was, and Ian was quick, and Ian banged that penalty home. And I never ever found myself in that penalty area again, because I say I don't want Jolo to leave pity me at again. Not me. I did not go there again, because Jolo is tall and Jolo is big, so you don't want to go there.
Wow. I mean, we can stay on the Dominica Grammar School for a longer time, but we'll move on. We'll move on. There's a lot that we want to, nerve as it relates to Carlisle Jno Baptiste. You mentioned that you went to work at Antilles Cement. Your salary there was $600. How long did you stay there? And what was your next move then?
I spent about 2 years at Antilles Cement. Norris Prevost got me that job. And he also paid, he said, you know what, you cannot be working at Antilles Cement for you not to be able to drive. He said, I will take care of that. So I was taught in quick time, there was a little vanette, and then I was taught to drive by, what's his name, Sam Azus and Cletus Seaman and Sam Azus. They taught me, and then I got my license. I paid, it was $60 for the little book. Those days, $60. I don't know how much it is now. And from Antilles Cement, I went into accounting. So I made my mark also in accounting. I started to work with H. James and Co. And my salary then was $1,200. $1,200. And then I said, you know what? Immediately I bought a bed. Yeah, I needed a bed. So I got a bed. I bought a bed, took out my little loan. And then I bought my little stereo system, bought a fridge, and, you know, to make myself comfortable. So, because we did not have that at home, we did not have a fridge then. So because we were putting our meat in somebody else's fridge. And what bothered me is that one day, there was this neighbor, I will not call her name, she's dead now. My mother, you know, who was also very troublesome, she would, you know, have a little beverage now and again. And this lady and my mother clashed. And the little Sunday meat, she put it outside. You know, it was touching. I said, you know what? I need to get a fridge for my mom. And I bought a fridge, took a loan. I think it was $5,000 then. I took a loan of $5,000 that got me the fridge, got me the bed, and got me a stereo set, all in one, all together.
Okay. Carlisle, was there something that necessitated that move to journalism? At what point did you go into media?
I'll tell you. So from my Hubert James, H. James and Co., I got a job at Fort Young Hotel in accounts at Fort Young Hotel. And Johnson John Rose, you know, was working at DBS. You know, he said, because he and myself, he knew each other very well. And he said he's heard me do a little commentary. And I was sounding good. And Johnson had a Saturday program on DBS, a sports program. So I used to do that. And so based on that, I got involved. And I felt it was something that I liked. So as time went by, I just gradually faded away from accounting. I did a lot of accounting. I worked at Juicy Factory as the accountant there. I was doing audit for Time and Place. You remember that name, Time and Place? Who owned Time and Place, Nigel?
I can't do.
Mr. Good morning to Big Edge.
Oh, okay. Time and Place.
Big Edge?
Yeah. So Billy Doctor.
Yeah, Time and Place was
Billy. Okay.
Yes, by the doctors, okay. Yes. And so I was taking care of their books for them. And from there I moved gradually into journalism. But also Billy had a very big part to play even in me from my refereeing career, because whilst I was in Point Michel, there was this guy, Glenville Remy, who used to work on the port. And Glenville, I took the flag. Those days they used to call them linesmen, and I used to do the little lines in, and then I did a little refereeing. And Glenville said, "Bus, I find you looking good on the field, and why don't you just take up refereeing?" So I started to do my little refereeing in Point Michel, and I was no nonsense. No nonsense. You're not going to play around with me on that field. Some say I was controversial, but so be it. And I decided, you know what? I think I can make a bigger contribution into refereeing. And so I joined the Dominica Football Referees Association. And immediately as I came, Billy and Chaucer, but more Billy, would have seen my talent. And I started to referee. Then it was second division. And immediately I moved up to the intermediates division. And my first, it was first division, my first division game. actually happened, Chaucer was then the person who was making the appointment. And Chaucer was the one who gave me that first game, because some people felt that, Billy was pushing me. But again, Billy saw the talent in me. And again, I was still very troublesome. I was speaking my mind. And when Dominica got the opportunity, when Billy got his opportunity to referee in Grenada, and Billy said to me, you know what? If you were behaving yourself, you would have been my fourth official. It's time to take stock. And that, I decided, you know what? I cannot be continuously be troublesome in referees meeting. I was motivated. And from there, I just took that and I just moved. Became a FIFA official. I was among the top 10 in CONCACAF at that time. Top 10 referees. So I really traveled across far and wide refereeing, across the world refereeing. And then I did 2 World Cup qualifiers. And then if you want to go back a little into journalism, Ivona would have.
Before you go back into journalism,
yes, let's stay with this. Let's stay in the sports field as well.
Yes,
because there are some questions you want to ask.
And yes, and the refereeing and everything else. I mean, do you remember when you became a FIFA referee? And what did it feel like for you then?
It was good, but I had to wait long for me to get my first international game. And when I got the call, I was covering. There was this demonstration in, I think, Ans de May, where I think they blocked the road. And I got a call from Martin Charles, who said to me, congratulations. I said, congratulations for what? He said, you've gotten your first international appointment. I said, that cannot be true, because I was already a referee for 5 years on the FIFA list. And I felt it was just not coming. So my first appointment, I was sent to St. Kitts. And by the time that game was over, I had a next appointment into the Dominican Republic, and they just kept coming and coming and coming. So again, out there, I really shone. I can say I did Dominica proud as an international referee, and I'm really happy that, finally it's over, but, I wish even I could still do it.
Interesting. But Carlisle, there was a time when it seems that controversy was always following you. Carlisle was always, in something like a fracas, in a day bar, even on the field of play when you were officiating. What was happening then?
Because I was brave. I probably would not do it now, but I remembered refereeing a game. It was Goodwill, and that was at the Pottersville Savannah. Goodwill and some other team. The scores were tied 1-1 with about a minute to play and massive crowd, and I awarded a penalty. And I'm not sure if I would have done that now, but it was a penalty. Whether it's in the first minute, whether it's in the final minute, is a penalty for me, and I awarded the penalty. And that was the end. Let me tell you, they had to carry me off. There's this guy who picks up garbage. I don't know his name, and he was reminding me. He said, "Boss, you see, you brave." He took me. Boy, I think he's from Buffet State. I don't know his name, but he's probably listening. He literally shielded me because the people would have crushed me. Goodwill, they would have just crushed me. I'm not sure, and I was not big. I'm not sure if I would do that again.
Wow.
I even in Point Michel, when I was refereeing in Point Michel, there are a few games. Mikey Bruni of blessed memory would say, every time the disciplinary committee would meet, Carlisle Jno Baptiste would be there, because I would have to write a report about somebody, some guy.
But Carlisle, why do you think that was happening though in retrospect, if you look back? Do you think it's because, you were sticking to the rules that guided you, or there was some mistakes probably you made, and people were seeing that the mistakes that you made, and I don't know.
It's
I
not
just
about
want you to put in
mistake.
context for us.
It's not about mistake.
Because a lot of times you would hear, oh, Carlisle was wrong on this, Carlisle, was wrong on that. What do you think really happened?
It's not about mistake. It's just me taking the bold decision that others would not take. I really was not bothered about what you think, but I would do it. I remember the referee in a game in the Windsor Park where it was Blue Stars who played, and very early the FIFA would send out the new rules, and the new rules had to be implemented. And so in that game, I implemented, it was my game to referee, I refereed that game, and I had to implement the new rules. And this guy slapped me. He slapped me. He said, no, man. Yes, man slapped me. I mean, eventually, I see him all the time. I don't deal with him. I forgive him. But he eventually killed someone, went to prison, and that sort of thing. But every time I think of that and I see him, I just remember, I did him nothing. Just me refereeing. And let me tell you, many times I had to get police escort. Because, because it was
I remember.
Serious.
But Kala, you were never deterred by what would have happened previously in a game when you had to go on to the next game?
Never.
So, for instance, something happened on Sunday, but you have to go and referee a game again the next weekend or in the week.
I was not bothered. Because I enjoyed refereeing, Ivona. I really, really enjoyed it. Even on cricket umpiring, I did that too. I did it. But when I went to do because I had to choose between cricket umpiring and football refereeing. So I went to do the exams and I said, that's not for me. That's not for me. I left the room and I said, I'll stick to my refereeing. So I used to do a lot of umpiring. Yes, I umpired a lot of games. But refereeing, I just loved it.
If you were to make a comparison, Carlisle, when you were officiating and what you're saying now, what would you say? Do you think that discipline, because when you were umpiring, obviously you were, involved in a lot of fracas, if you could call it that. What you're seeing right now in terms of officiating in comparison to when you were, an official, what is the difference? What are you seeing? Any improvements there?
The officiating is poor. It has left a lot to be desired. And they always tell you, never allow a game to be decided by a referee. Never, ever. And the officiating that I see today, compared to the days of Brahim, Martin Charles, Billy Doctruve, Carlisle Jno Baptiste, Magnus the Gallery, Gifford Walsh, Hayford Laffer. I was with all those guys. Chaucer Doctruve. It is chalk and cheese. Extremely, extremely poor. In those days, we were not getting paid. We were not getting paid. I remembered and you had to get your own uniform. I had to buy my uniform. It was black and white. And I put money aside and I sourced my uniform in England, my red cards and my yellow cards. I had to purchase that. Today, you get paid as a referee. You get uniforms as a referee. And the officiating that I see, it is a shame. It has left a lot. Sometimes I don't even go to the games because, I'm outspoken up till a day like today. So when I go there, sometimes I see things and sometimes I cannot keep my big mouth shut. Although I am part of the refereeing committee, I ought to stay silent. But sometimes the things that I see, sometimes I just walk away because it will get me into trouble. I have to speak. It is bad. Very, very bad. Some may not like what I'm saying, but it's costing teams their matches. And once you cost teams their matches, for example, I'm hearing whereby on a team's list, a referee looking at the team's list, and you're telling me that a guy is playing a game and is not on the team's list. In my time, that cannot happen. No, no, no. Because I tell you, I would scrutinize that list. And if you just don't know. The law says you cannot play with rings. Even when I come to my game, I'm serious. I get to the ground on time. And I used to referee in the Newtown League. And I remembered there's this guy, Zico actually is his name, and that's George Laronde. I remember his name well, and he had a few words to tell me. I told him, you know what? You will see football, you will hear about football, but today you're not going to play football. I gave him a red card. And Mr. cried because he could not believe little me giving him a red card. Because let me tell you, he had a lot to say to me. And I would not tolerate that. Once I come on the ground and once I set foot on that ground, that belongs to me. It belongs to me. I ensure that I take control of that ground and the players. And so because of that, some liked me, some don't like me. And there's this guy who sells fish. And he says to me, you know, you made me a better person. So I said to him, why? He says, you were disciplined and you disciplined me. And as a result of that, I had to walk the straight and narrow road.
Wow. What a story.
Good stuff. Good
Yep.
stuff.
What a
Good
story.
stuff. Good stuff. But also at that time, you'd probably say as well, I mean, in terms of, so that's the officiating, but what about the football? What about the footballers? In terms of the players, do you feel like the players back then when you were refereeing had a lot more respect for the referees?
Oh, yes.
For the officials as compared to now?
I would say yes, though. Guys would see you and guys would respect you. I mean, you had one or two. You had one or two who would, but generally, you would have gotten that level of respect from players. Because you see, I'll tell you what, the guys know that you come there and you come with a genuine heart. And I will tell you, I have never gone on a football field for me to attempt to, if you may put it that way, cause the outcome of the game. Maybe I would have given a penalty. Maybe I would have awarded a few penalties that, in hindsight, sometimes you say, boy, that was a soft penalty. That was a soft penalty. Boy, Mr. Curse. And you could not curse on my field. Not once I hear you, out you go. Out you go, red card for you. Out you go. I was just not tolerating nonsense on the football field. But at a time like now, if I'm refereeing and you probably would say something to one of your players, I would just tell you, yo, go easy.
Okay.
Or play a deaf ear to that.
More tempered now.
Right.
But Carlisle, before we move on to another area, because there are a lot of things that we want to cover. If you caught reporting journalism, we want to go back to this. And, even in the church, your involvement in the church and, the ODM and all of that. In reference to the standard of play, the agility of the players on the field of play, training and all of that, as was before, what entailed before, and what is happening now. What do you say?
A stark difference. Even I'll tell you, I had to do my own training. And I'll tell you, I used to run from Point Michel to Roseau. And my mark was every goalpost, every electrical pole. So I would run, walk. And you had to do your own training. But today, that is not happening on the football field. I mean, I see guys, they're not fit. Our football standard has gone down shamefully. So, I mean, when I would come to the Windsor Park, and I would do a game at 2:00 and still do a game at 4. Stay to do that game because I enjoyed that. And those were the days when you would hear Harlem and Kensborough playing, and Toothless George, when you would hear that there was an area we used to do football commentaries at the top, and when you hear that galvanage banging on a Sunday afternoon, it was action. That was the days. Those were the days.
The Lapo
Cabwit and everything. And I mean, you don't have that anymore. The rivalry was real. I mean, Harlem and Kensborough. And then you had Saints, Celtics, and then Grammar Academites, all those guys there. I refereed. I was part of that. I'm not old, but I have a little age, and I was around, and I saw all of that. But today, our football has gone down, down, down. I mean, when you see Glenn Etienne, who, by the way, played football and cricket for Dominica. Some people don't even know that Glenn Etienne kept for Dominica as a wicket keeper. He played football. I refereed in those times. Alan Toussey, Alfred, and Mikes, and when again Gerald George, we would go to the park, and when Harlem and Point Michelle playing, and Gerald George would say, "Score a goal for me, Uncle Mikes." I would say to him, "Partner, you from Point Michelle?" He said, "But I from Harlem, you know." And Uncle Mike is at playing. So those were the days. Don't have that anymore.
And do you think that I knew we have more now, but yet still the standards have dropped. Even in a time when we have more, we have better playing fields, we have night, we have lights, we have all those things.
Yep.
What do you think might be a possible cause for that, guy?
Because people are not dedicated. People are not dedicated. You have to be dedicated, you know. If you are not dedicated, then I mean, where are we going? We go nowhere.
That's very interesting. So we can make a segue into journalism. We can always come back to football because I mean the book is busy. There are a lot of comments I don't want to go over. So I was just thinking of journalism as well, Carlisle, because you two have been involved in this for many years. You still are. Do you feel that sometimes that yes, we have more now in terms of technological advancements, but do you feel too often that we tend to forget the methodology, and because the technology is so much, it's there for us, so we don't go to the grinds again? Do you get a sense of that?
But of course, I mean, with journalism, I tell people it's a passion. You have to love it. It's not about money, because I mean, if I have to think about the money, I would have been out of it. I worked Voice of the Islands. I was doing correspondence for, it was then Kana, then BBC, Associated Press, AP. I have been around. I was the editor of the Chronicle newspaper, Charlie's paper, the Sun newspaper.
You worked at the Times as well, was it?
Yes, we opened the Times newspaper. Now even Kyrie FM. I worked there also doing sports and doing news. I've been around, and then I went to court, and I found it interesting. And so I also wanted to do from priesthood. From priesthood, I want.
What about the priesthood?
Because, like I said earlier, I wanted to be a
we'll
priest.
Come to that. Okay,
you want to be a priest?
Yes, we'll come to that. He's almost there.
Yes, and so then I moved into the journalism and then law, because I loved it. And when I went to the court, there's this High Court Judge Justice Dunbar Sinak. He died about 2 years ago in Antigua. And he just embraced me. And I listened to him. And almost lawyers who would have been called to the bar, I was always there. Gina Dyer. I can call names who were called to the bar. And I was there. I covered all of that. All of those functions. Always there. So the court reporting just got into me. I mean, knowing what to do. I mean, even I've been threatened. Sometimes people tell me, not to call my name. I remembered going to Court of Appeal, and Shaba James said to me, if you ever take my picture, you'll find out. Well, it's not me he was talking to, because I did take his picture. I was not bothered. I took his picture, and I wrote this story too. I wrote this story.
But Kai, would you say controversy always followed you? Would you?
I am the bold. That? It's not. I am just the bold one that will do what I have to do. I'm not bothered about. What you think or how you think about. I'm not bothered how you think about me. I am me. I am me, and once it is right, I will do what is right. So I'm not a fearful person, and I believe, I'm a God-fearing person. So with God on my side, I'm not bothered.
What bothered you though in your court reporting? Of course, you would see the highs and the lows. So you see people won their cases, But you also saw, the downside of it, especially when it involves, teenage children, teenage girls more so. What really bothered you?
The amount of times I would have been in court, and the way, I would have seen different crimes being committed and the way those crimes were committed. And sometimes I see cases go down the drain. Sometimes poor police work, shabby police work. And sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm saying, look, that question you're asking is not a good question. And sometimes even lawyers, I really have to say that, lawyers, sometimes the way they cross-examine witnesses and the way they put forward the case of the client, it has left a lot to be desired, some of them.
Okay.
So,
Where do we go to next, Nigel? We go back to what, journalism?
Well,
But that's part of what
you
we're
keep saying
discussing
about
now
the
in terms
priesthood. I want to find out about the
You
priesthood.
want to find out about the
because-
priesthood. But I wanted to find out though, even before you go to the priesthood, we
But then
touched on
we can leave that for
we
later.
touched on
because
journalism.
He's doing a lot in the church.
I want to
So
find out,
stick with
Carlisle,
journalism for what?
yes, in terms of what was the highlights of your career. You would have traveled extensively. When you look at your stint in journalism, what would you describe as maybe the pinnacle of your career?
when I went to, was it in England? I think you were there. We traveled from Dominica, I went to St. Lucia, and when I
to
came
Bermuda,
back,
St.
yes,
Vincent,
I went to
yeah.
get visas. So that was in 2000. Together, we traveled with then Prime Minister Rosie Douglas in 2000. So I went to get visas for, it was Ivona, Felix Augustine, Matt Pelletier, and myself. So we had to get the Shengweng visa. So when I arrived in Dominica, that was the first time in my life I was in transit in Dominica. St. Lucia, Dominica, Guadeloupe, and then Guadeloupe, France, England. And it was just, living on a plane and I'm going places and filing reports. And the good experience was that Rosie Douglas never shied away from us as press. We were part and parcel of him. The room that we were sleeping, it was all of us. Ivona would be separated, but the men and them, we were together. So Rosie was there, Carlisle was there, Matt was there. We were all in one, and Ivona separate. And we were always together as a team covering whatever it was. There was another opportunity. Curtis Matthew, when I went to China, Dominica did not have diplomatic relations with China. And I was walking across by DBS. I was coming to DBS, but I was by Fort Young Hotel. And Mr. Skerritt met me. He was with Curtis Matthew. And he said to me, "Hey, my Carlisle, boy, nice seeing you. I just spoke to Curtis there, and you want to go to China?" I said, "But I don't mind going to China." He said, "Well, good, because Curtis has agreed." And so we agreed. Everything was in place. I think he was the Minister of Sports. So, of course, everything was put together. I went to Barbados, got the visa before that. But then Curtis chickened out. Curtis said, "Boy, we don't have diplomatic relations with China. I not going there." And Curtis don't like to travel. So Curtis chickened out. So Mr. Skerritt said to me, "Choose someone to go because you agreed to go." And of course, my next bomb tag, Matt Pelletier. I chose Matt and myself, we went to China together. That was in 2000. So we did not have diplomatic relations. And then when we came back, the front page story, Johnson John Rose wrote that front page story, secret deals. Dominica makes secret deals, or sweetheart deals, I think it was, with China. And that caused a big stir in the Sun newspaper. And those were the days.
Interesting.
I will not tell you what I said after.
It's all right. It's okay. Some things are better left unsaid.
Yes.
Some things are...
What is it about journalism, though, Carlisle, that I mean, you got bit by the bug. So what is it about journalism that you just love?
It's challenging. It's challenging, and I love to ask questions. I, there's a certain minister that I just turned him around. I mean, sometimes I laugh, but there are some people that I'm not sure if they see it coming. But you know, you ask questions. Maybe you ask 5 questions and you ask it 5 different ways. And then I just pawn him all over the place. So I enjoy that. I enjoy that.
Sitting with people and discussing as well.
Yes,
asking questions.
It's nice.
Carlisle, you may remember we would have been doing this sometimes all 2 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning, yes.
You know, wherever we went, in Brussels, in Germany, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes, those were the days.
And I covered election in Barbados, and there was the Barbados Prime Minister, I forgot his name, but he's dead now. And the night before the election, he spoke. And after I went to interview him, it was Matt and myself, and we said to him, Mr. Prime Minister, tell me, because we're going to file a report, why would you want the people of Barbados to re-elect you? And he said to me, if I did not hear what he said, I said, it's not what you said, it's what I'm asking you now, sir. And he was not at all pleased. I said, sir, it's what I'm asking you now. You said a lot of things. And that is the night before the election. He was angry that we asked him that question. And he lost the election too.
Do you think we are in a better state now with journalism than we were before? Do you think we've grown, we've improved, or do you think there's still a little bit of room? Is there some more training that should be happening into the current journalists that's coming in now?
We have developed, but we have what Matt would always call the prima donnas, who think they know it all. Before they reach the court, they know how to file a court story. Before they reach in journalism, they are the best. And I'll tell you something that I see lately, that I see a lot of press releases that come to me because I have an online newspaper, and it says for immediate release, riddled with errors. I mean, the public relations poor. The people just write things and they send it out, and it is not properly vetted. And you see, with immediate press release, with immediate release, and they send that to you, and I have to go through that. Most times I have to rewrite them, because if you just put that out like that, it makes no sense. So a lot of our journalists, those who call themselves journalists, they are in it for money, and they speak poorly. They don't know how to write a story. They don't know how to structure a story. It is just bad. It is just bad. In the days of Ivona, I mean, at Voice of the Islands, under Father Cunard, under Ken Richards, and you know, Marie Claire Woktiverse, and Camilla Bellot, and the likes. When you know, Adina, you know, when you hear about those people there, and when they would write a story, I mean, you know, what Gavin's dad, Peter Richards, and when those guys write a story for you, they write a story. You have everything. It's a story is being told. But our journalists nowadays, some of them, they don't have what it takes. They're only there for the money. And most of them cannot ask questions. That is why, sadly, whenever we go to press conferences, you will find Curtis and myself dominating.
But Carlisle, wouldn't you say as well that it could be a reflection on the part of seasoned journalists? Because they have to help the younger ones.
Well, are they willing to learn?
Well, but are you willing to teach?
I'm always open. Always. And that is why you see the twins, 2 lovely young ladies, they're willing to learn.
But let's move on to another area. We have so much to cover still with you, Carlisle. I mean, you are involved you are the communications officer at the ODM, the Office of Disaster Management. You have been doing a lot since you put foot inside this place. Tell us about your duties there. Tell us about, how you love your job, what you are doing, what you're involved in. You're always on radio now. with a weekly program. Tell us about this.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's when I arrived, and the staff, they welcomed me. So as soon as I came, I was thrown into the program that you'll have. That was on the Tuesday. So I was told, Janelle told me, Carlisle, this is what you have to go and do. She said, but you just arrived. I don't know if you can handle that. I said, that's okay. And my first guess, I knew nothing. I just came to DBS with my little bag, and I just sat, and I just went through that 1 hour interviewing them and interaction. And the staff called me and they said, wow, that was great. And I must tell you that the support that I have from the staff of the Office of Disaster Management, it's awesome. Awesome. Joyanne, Janelle, Wendy, and Craig, and all of them, they are just an awesome team. And I love working with them.
Nigel, Carlisle is even operating as a weatherman, at times.
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard him in the last season, and when we had the storm or the hurricane that might have been coming, and I heard him there, with the minister and the Fitzroy and everybody else, and I was like, hey, but I didn't know Carlisle did the weatherman, but that's good.
But you see, when you get yourself involved in that, so when I came in, I remember even the day we were going to have this storm stuff, and the minister, he called me. He said, Mr. Jno Baptiste, I need you to, call the radio stations and can you do something? And I said, sir, you know what? I'm going to have a simulcast. He said, serious? How are you going to do that? I said, just wait. And within 5 minutes, I was able to call all the radio stations, everybody. I called Ivona, I had the numbers, and I was able to put a simulcast together. And that was just, I just enjoyed doing that work.
By the way, Carlisle, Krishana is saying we are locked in, Daddy.
Oh,
yes.
Krishana and Khalil, my grandson, and Kiara, my granddaughter, and my nephew Roosevelt is also locked in England.
The book is busy, Nigel. We have a lot of comments.
The book has been
Carlisle
very
is a popular
busy,
guest, eh?
I mean, yes, Carlisle has been sharing his story, and the book has been extremely busy, different questions and different things, and saying Carlisle had like Ruru, and of course, somebody wants to know what prevented you from being a priest, so you'll tell us about the whole priestly thing in a few. You're talking about the Harlem. By the way, he's on it.
Yes, I saw that.
He says,
yes, I realize.
Yes.
He came late,
He
though.
gave a reason, though.
He came late.
A reason. He said about the time change. The time change is what is causing him and all kind of things. But Depitala, you can face time change.
Time change.
But somebody gave us detention, man, Nigel. I'm just saying this.
Somewhere else they gave us a detention.
Hetty Lawrence gave us detention, right?
Yes, because she said we had her laughing so much she had to leave for.
Oh, earlier. Okay, all right.
Yes, when we were talking about the the brass and the Calypsonians, which we will get to hear next Saturday. So yeah, Snapper Laura, good morning to you as well. Says Carl, I was always in Atalala.
Hey, what is Sandra Norris saying there?
LOL.
Sandra Norris is saying, good morning, Ivo and Nigel. I'm here. Don't put me in detention. I couldn't what? I couldn't connect to Facebook, but I was listening on the radio. Okay.
We'll think of Sandra is always there, so we'll probably give her a pass.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
I'll agree with you on that one.
You'll give her a pass, yes. So Snapper says, Carlisle is a good guy, very outspoken, but fair. Good morning to you all from Hyacinth.
You saw Alicia's comment? That happened to me last week and I got my detention. So I guess probably we are saying we're not giving somebody a detention, but the same thing happened to Alicia last week.
Then, because we say we're going to give Sandra a pass, but if Alicia's saying that same thing happened, then we give her one.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, we will have to give him one. Yes. Give her one too, eh?
Yes.
Somebody want to ask Carlisle, would you consider running for public office or political leadership?
You heard that, Carlisle?
At one time, I was thinking about politics, but That thing dividing people too much. I prefer to stay in my church. That thing it's dividing people too much. I prefer to stay where I am because too much. Interestingly, I went up for village council twice and I lost.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Why can't I? You're so popular.
But it's not popularity, it's the people.
I mean, it's not popularity, but sometimes it hinges on this, because if you're popular, that means you're always the people. But then again, to some extent.
Well, you see, people.
But it's interesting, Carlisle, that you went up twice and you never won.
So I was never on the council. But people just think that I am too outspoken. Some people say, boy, Carlisle in that council. Carlisle. Boy, leave Mr. out, eh?
Oosh.
Leave Mr. out.
So you never made it, Carlisle?
I never made it.
Council.
Yeah, twice.
But that has never but that still hasn't stopped you from doing helping the community and doing projects in the community and being part of the community development, right?
Oh no, because you see, also I've been involved in the credit union movement. Actually, National Cooperative Credit Union, I'm one of the pioneers, one of the frontline persons who was around for National Credit Union. So I was part of the first board of National Credit Union. Mm-hmm. I served on the board of then La Salette, on the credit committee, on the supervisory committee. I was the treasurer of La Salette Credit Union. And when we took the decision to move to National Credit Union, the gallery and myself, the gallery was the president, then I was the treasurer, and we went to the Dominica Public Service Union to, do what we had to do. And I remembered a certain gentleman, may his soul rest in peace, he said under his dead body, that is not going to happen. So I said to the gallery, if we are not getting through to that National Credit Union that we are going to form, I'm resigning forthwith. And so we went there and everything went through, and I made it on the board of then National Credit Union. I also served as secretary to the board before I finally left, and I've served my time. I've been there, been on COPEF. COPEF, I was part of the first COPEF board. That's an insurance company for the credit unions. So I was part of that first board that was formed again by myself together with Mr. Dexter Ducre. So yeah, I'm pioneer to a few things in Dominica, not being recognized, but who cares? At least it's there to serve Dominica.
You were interested in the priesthood. Are you still interested? Is it too late
of
for
course,
you,
of course, I cannot now be a priest.
Yeah.
But I serve. Some people say I will be a deacon. I say let God lead me to where He has to lead me. If it is the will of God that I become a Catholic deacon, and I love the Catholic faith, don't mess with me and my Catholic faith. Don't go down that road.
How involved are you in the church?
Very, very, very involved. I do the incense. So I'm the one lighting the fire. So once we have incense, they're early, I light the fire and I give it to the altar servers. If like our bell ringer was sick, I still know to ring the bell. If somebody's dead and the bell ringer is sick, I go and ring the bell.
You're a lector as well?
Yes. So I read in church. I do commentaries and animation. So all announcements also, I do that. In charge of in terms of, I do flowers. We'll go get the flowers.
Wow.
So every week, well, not during the Christmas, but every week where we have to go Wharton Waven and get the flowers, or I have to get it in market. We did not have someone to do that. I volunteered. I say I will get the flowers. It's at no cost. You just have to do it. You get your reward. So I go get the flowers and bring it to church. And whatever it is, whatever it takes to assist church, I do that. I am now part of the church committee, the finance committee. And yeah, once you call on me, I'll be there.
So you're involved in everything. You're not a selective Catholic. Like some people choose what they want to be involved in. Some people don't, uphold some of the standards that probably they upheld when they were smaller, when they were younger. But you uphold everything.
I am
Catholic
a practicing
church
Catholic.
Okay.
Once you call on me to help for church, I will be there. No if, but, or maybe about that. Even there are times I'm sitting and I don't sit on the normal pews because I sit closer to the sacristy because sometimes I have to go and check the system. And there are times the person who would have to read is not there. So quickly I have to look at the route, the roster, and if that person is not there, I have to go and read.
All right. Interesting, Carlisle boy, Nigel. But Carlisle, it would be remiss of me, though, not to ask you about your involvement as well in giving back to your alma mater, the Dominica Grammar School. What do you see happening these days? The committee that you're part of and all of that.
Well, I just see they are listening to our C187 class of 1987, and we are very much involved. We give back. We do a lot, and this group, I must say, whoever thought of doing that. And by the way, Ivona, you tasked me to do something. Mm-hmm. It's not finished yet, but definitely it is something that I have to get done. And Glenroy too say that we have to and get that done because lots of other schools are having that, and it is time that the Dominica Grammar School.
I gave you an assignment, Carlisle.
Yes.
I'm just hoping that
I just told you, yes.
By January month end, you would have achieved that goal.
Well, I'm hoping that I will get it done. But yes, with Glenroy too, say Glenroy and myself, we are working feverishly to try to get it accomplished. And it's for school. It's for the Dominica Grammar School. And
Nigel, you're in DJ Dominica Grammar School so much in your head. Tell me, wait.
It's reality,
I wasn't
Nigel.
there for the last 2 minutes. I say I'm not going to say anything.
And the Dominica Grammar School. Even I need to tell you that I'm also inducted in the Hall of Fame of the St. Luke's Primary School. So if you go there, you will see my picture there, and I think there's a citation also. I just do those things. If it come, I was also the father of the year. Yes, by the church. I got a plaque for the father of the year.
This year?
No, it wasn't this year.
Okay.
I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
The father of the year. Yes.
But what is it about the Dominica Grammar School? What is it that happened that allows you and people like Ivona and the others, to want to continue to give back to the grammar school?
Because it's the best secondary school on island. Without a shadow of a doubt.
That, what else?
Carlisle, go ahead. It's
What
your problem.
else? What else, Nigel? Dominica Grammar School is just great. It's the greatest.
What did it do for you? What your time at the grammar school, what did it do for you that wants you to want to continue to give back?
It shaped me. It made me who I am. It molded me. Had it not been for the Dominica Grammar School, that 5 years I spent there. I remember in 1982, 7th of September 1982 when I entered, I said 5 years? Why that long way? And 5 years just came around and it just disappeared.
Well, for many of us, high school years were the defining moment for us. At that time, discipline, and love for school was on a high. The camaraderie, everything, the sporting activities. You had to go back to school in the afternoon. The whole setup, the whole school structure. There was something about school, in these days. And what you would hear about school, even before you went to the actual school itself, that would move you, to be a better person.
Ivona, I was never absent at the Dominica Grammar School. Never, ever was I absent.
Interesting.
Or late. Because remember, I was ringing the bell. I walked.
Yes.
I walked
That's true.
from, they had this road closure. And I used to walk from Point Michel to school. And walk back.
And reach to school early.
And
you had to do your chores before. You started your walk,
And it was always
so
a pleasure.
we went to school at a time when education, it's still on a high. As I said earlier, with journalism, sometimes we forget the methodology, because we take up so much of the technology. But education back in the day, you had to go to the library for you to get your notes.
Your notes.
And you had to open the youth encyclopedias, and jot down your points. Nigel, you did that as well. So,
Oh,
you know,
yes. Oh,
those
yes.
days, I mean, when you look back on your school years, there's so many things that you can be proud about, so many things that you can smile about. Sports, you know, the competition, grammar academites, you know, cross country. Wow. But we went to school at a very good time, you know.
But of course, and I mean, I remember, you know, I was in BJ and Ivona also. And
We were stronger than
well, BJ used to come last. And I said, you know what? BJ,
Can I just say it like that?
BJ used to come last. And I said, you know what?
Where Papa?
I not live in grammar school for BJ to be last. So my last 2 years, BJ won. Even the last year, we were on top. We won athletics. We quiver everybody. You won Skinner. Right? You were head of Skinner, right, Nigel? Or Dominic?
Yes, I was the head of Skinner. Yes, I was the headmaster, whatever you call it, for Skinner. Yes.
Yes, I remember that. And we quiver all you. It was good. I enjoyed that because BJ used to take too much blues. Blows. I said, but what for us to do now again? And
in those days, sports was on the high, obviously, and you had the Call right next to us.
Yes.
You know, and where the Windsor Park Stadium is now, that was our sports field.
Right.
And whether you like sports or not, like I did not like sports, and I remember Mr. Sabra telling me, but you have to make at least 2 wrongs, you know.
You had to.
Man, that was something else. But yeah, I tell you, the inter-schools competition, netball, everything.
But you only hear that bell ringing down there. And
the
you remember
discipline.
The shortest man behind the stumps, Naf Isaac behind that stumps there, and Bill Johnson, Inspector Bill Johnson, bowling. And I think there was one time when he pitched that ball, it went for 6 byes. You ever have 6 byes? That ball, Naf could not catch it. You know, you remember Bruce Phillip and all those guys there at grammar school, Darwin Telemack, Edgar Hunter, and
Isaac.
Yes.
Joseph Isaac.
Well, Joseph Isaac, yes, also. You know, and you know, there's a guy, I'll tell you, who bust my head in grammar school. You know, like I told you, I was troublesome. Yeah, he bust my head. He took a stone. And I will not call his name. He told me
before he bust
my head again. But he told me, I said something to him. He said, who think you're talking to now? He just came and he took the stone and bust my head. I cry. But I could not say anything. I just took my little bus head.
What village was he from, Carlisle?
He's a former national cricketer.
Yes.
That is as much as I will say.
That's as close as he will go. Yes. He won't say St. Joseph.
I
won't
don't
say
know.
anything like that.
All I will tell you is a former national cricketer.
Yes. I mean, he won't say what village he's from, you know, whether it's St. Joe or the history or so. You know, say that. Yes.
Nigel, the producer has a question. Ivona, do you know the name of the other school? And he still put in LOL. What school?
The other school, yes.
What's the other school name?
So are you going to answer him? Do you know
well, somebody answer him. Agnes Benjamin, right under his comment, DGS the best. Thank you, Agnes.
Of course. Nothing to be DGS. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so this is the DGS section and connected with us. We appreciate DGS for what they've done and for their contribution to education and to the development of young people and the rest of the society. We appreciate DGS for that. And as a result of that, they will continue to be one of the best schools on the island. And along with SMA, they will, continue to lead, I mean, SMA just had a beautiful reunion and, I mean, is grammar school planning something like that? Is DGS going to do something
We planning, so we have our thing locked.
Well, you have all your thing locked?
Yes,
okay,
and remember, we are older than you all,
Feel free to call on us if you need any support and
we have enough people there.
Assistance on how it can be done properly.
We have enough people there to assist us. So, remember, the Prime Minister of Dominica went to the Dominica Grammar School.
I sure remember that.
Okay.
I remember teaching him as well and being part of the whole grammar school process. So, my years at grammar school, my 10 plus years were wonderful years at the DGS. So, that's okay as well.
Well, you taught me literature.
Wonderful connection. Yes. So
you taught me to write properly.
And all the rest, Nath and all the rest. So it was wonderful years at DGS. Definitely so. So, So Carlisle, I think everyone was asking about the priesthood. That's where I can leave DGS. You're asking about the priesthood. I mean, first of all, what got you to want to be a priest? And why did you not become one?
Well, like I said, Father René van den Berg, he left Dominica in 1981. And as a result of that, and then I passed my common entrance in 82, and then I went to the Dominica Grammar School. So as a result of that, you meet ladies. So there's a change of, something changed. So as a result of that. And but I still stayed close to the church up till now. That is it. And I love the whole thing about the priesthood. There's something when I go to church and I see, even the preaching and everything, the spirituality. I just love that. So,
yes, and especially now you have Deacon the Gallery close by you and everything else. That's making you even closer.
Well, I have been around and, and even Father Reggie Lafleur, because he was then our parish priest. So when René Vandenberg left, Father Reggie, that was his first stint as parish priest of Point Michel. And so I was an altar server. So I would have served a lot with guys like Stephen Dangleben, who was an altar server. Cecil Clark, who was an altar server, and I served with them in the cathedral. And in those days, I'll tell you, we used to have the parish of Loubier was part of Point Michel. So Mass in Point Michel was 7 o'clock, and the Loubier was 9, and then we would go to Bellevue Chopin for 11. So Father had to do 3 masses. So I would tag along. So I would not be home until, say, maybe 3 in the afternoon. And Father would give you, before you go home, Father would give you to get your breakfast. And before you leave, Father would give you a little $2, sometimes $1. And that was plenty at that time. But you dare not watch a child and give a child $2 or $1 now. I mean, you don't do that. So we used to tag along, and so when there were big feasts, because I used to do the incense, and I still do. We had a big feast. I would tag along with Father. So the various feasts in the cathedral in Newtown. So Stephen was an altar server, and we served together. Even Cecil Clark, like I said, there are a few others that come to mind. Rudy Regis, all those guys there, they were altar servers, and Derek Samuel, and the gallery too was an altar server. So you see the path he has led.
Yes. So, unfortunately, he hasn't allowed Matt and Gerald to follow that path as well.
Matt was an altar server and Gerald George too.
Mm-hmm. So okay.
Yeah, Matt was an altar server because Gerald George has an aunt who was also stationed in Point Michel, who's a nun, who was a nun then. I think that's Jacinta's mom. That's his aunt. So Gerald would be around there. He used to clean the nun's yard on a Saturday. So that was part of his chores. So then my nickname, they started to call me Zako, which is Zakolik. An article of blessed memory named me Zako.
Okay,
Zakolik.
interesting.
So that is how it came.
Zakolik.
Zakolik.
Okay, so
Zakolik.
so that's how the name Zako came about.
That is correct.
From Zakolik.
From
okay.
Zakolik.
Yeah. Carlisle, how do you spend the quiet days, quiet times these days? What moves you these days, Carlisle?
I sit. I sometimes I go by my mom, and sometimes I stop Hollywood with the boys and them.
You like watching movies? You like the thoracic lubrication?
Well, I
What
love
is
I
happening?
love my beverage. I love my beverage.
I want to
And-
get to that.
Yes, I make no bones about that. I love my beverage. I am a social drinker, but whenever I get the opportunity, I have my good friend Keith Coffey, who's very close. Keith went to St. Luke's School. You know, a lot of people went to St. Luke's School, and there's this guy, Augustus Charles, who died. He said, "Did you go to SLS, which is St. Luke's St. Luke's School?" He said, "Once you went to SLS, you must be a good guy." So I fall in that bracket of attending SLS. So all of us, and so during my free time, I sit sometimes in front of the computer, do some writing, and sometimes I just go down by my mom or just stay at
Listen to
home.
music as well on a Sunday.
As for the Sunday, and I'll tell you one thing, I listen to no other radio station but DBS Radio. Let me tell you, when Curtis Matthews says that he's sure Carlisle Jno Baptiste is listening, it is a fact.
Okay.
Seriously.
I used to think that he was stretching it, at times. You know Curtis already.
Curtis, I'm always, if you all know, so my radio is on DBS.
Kala, you sang on the radio for me.
Well,
Was it last week Sunday or the week before?
Yes,
that?
because I'm at home and when you play those music, it brings a piece of nostalgia, so you remember this.
Remember those days, Kala, the old girlfriends.
Yes, those
and whispering sweet nothings in the air.
Yes, those good old days. And when you sit and you think about
which prevented you from being in the prison.
Yes,
You were
I think it's that.
Well, you see,
That's a deterrent.
I did not have to be. And I thank God he has led me to a different path. I have some beautiful children. I have 2 lovely grandchildren. And I give God thanks for that.
You should. Calypso season is coming up soon, and
yes.
you have a program on DBS on
Next week, Saturday.
Gallery,
Yes, we
Duncan,
I
so
go to
on, so on.
coupe us with Nigel next week because he go to cut in our time.
Well, we start from 8.
Yes,
Is it 8? Yes.
Kala starts from 8.
Yes.
We give them an
They
extra
do
half
8 to
hour.
9, right?
They do 8 to 9:30.
8 to 9:30.
There was a time I felt. I
8
think
to
it was last
9:30.
year. I
Okay,
felt
yes.
that
So
8
we'll
to
be
9
going
was
from
some
9:30.
continuities.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's okay because Calypso
We
is my
start at
thing,
9:30,
so that's
yeah.
all right as well. What about Calypso? Kala, how you got involved in that? What you like
Well,
about the Calypso season?
Again, I been at grammar school and
You had to bring my grammar
But
school,
of course,
man.
Kala.
yeah,
say
because
it,
you
say
see
it.
Calypso at that time when I went to grammar school, that was where the Calypso finals and everything was being held. So I started to listen, and Gerald George, who loves his Calypso also.
Jared is your boy.
Yeah, Gerald George. We would listen, and so I started to get more involved and listen to Calypsos from there. And that is how I really got involved into Calypso and listening to it. Yes, from the Dominica Grammar School, again being involved with Gerald George, who loves this Calypso. Sometimes he'd tell me, partner, you have it wrong. Even when on the show, he'd message me and he'd say to me, partner, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. So Gerald is a top Calypso. So Gerald has been involved in that for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years. So we've been tight buddies. You're
looking forward to a good season this year?
I heard a song from Mystery, and it said I think the chorus goes like the Pawize Calypso. Somebody Pawize Calypso. It sounds good. My own take is that it will pass elimination, but let us see. That one will pass elimination, but let's see what happens next week Saturday. It sounds good. I've heard also a song of Trendsetter. Sounds good also. Trendsetter has a good one. I've heard those 2. So maybe Saturday we will hear more.
Carlisle, do you believe the elimination rung is much bigger than it was before?
It used to be Koshoni before. Blah, 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 blah. Look now, they even have VIP. When you used to hear about elimination, but Alvin Latham, my good friend, would always say to me, elimination is always his best show. And Alvin would take Calypso from elimination and Richmond Valentine, those guys there. Because they said that is where you would hear the little vibes. Where you would hear fellas saying, fellas sometimes even forget blah, 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 toot, all kind of magie. That is where you used to hear those things. And then you go home at 3 in the morning. But I don't think that can happen again. You now have VIP for elimination. Mm-hmm. That is something
That is
else.
growth.
Well, we are winding down now, but there's one thing I think I forgot. We should have asked Carlisle. Just tell us a little about the cultural vibrancy of Point Michel. There's something about Point Michel that continues in terms of the culture and in terms of the vibes.
Point Michel, we love our Creole. And I speak fluent Creole. I can understand it. And I always say to people, whenever I converse with my mom, we converse in Creole. So my mom never speaks English to me. So my children, all of us, I continue that tradition. But in Point Michel, you have this whole cultural vibe, the Belay, Mr. Tia, Matt's dad, that is Matthias Pelletier, and Mr. T. William. Mr. T. William passed. And all those guys there, when you get that Belay vibes, let me tell you, and Teresa and those folks there, Mr. Tia would beat a drum for you and play a ballet for you. That man was good. And Mr. Tyrilliam and Matt's dad used to play the saxophone. We used to have our carnival. We used to have our calypso.
What about Christmas? What was Christmas like in Point Michel?
Christmas was not so very heavy, but carnival. There was this lady who used to have every carnival Sunday. She used to pass around the village with her thing, and even Augustus Charles used to have a peacock on his head and pass around the village and do all stuffs. Even when Ferdinand Frampton of blessed memory came to live in Point Michel, he was part of the village council, and he tried to revive that. It is not as strong, but we used to go house to house singing Serenal. That is no longer. That's dead, and spell it any way you want. It's dead. Finibat. We don't have that. Fish. We used to have that fish. And if you're from Point Michel, you have to learn to swim. Because I was taught to swim because I used to bathe in that sea. We used to have Kai Noe, Kai Blanc, and I ended up going by Kai Noe, and they just pushed me down, and I had to fight for myself, so I had to learn to swim. Now, almost those young guys, some of them cannot swim. During the summertime, we used to walk under the cliff. Walk under the cliff, and remember, Loubier used to come to school in Point Michel. So we used to go bivouac in Loubier. Armstrong was saying that to me. Sto, he's driving the bus. He said to me, you remember you coming down to Loubier, where Voice of the Islands is, and play football with Loubier. So we used to have that exchange and come there.
Voice of Life?
Yeah, Voice of Life, yes. Where Voice of Life is now. So that was the Loubier playing field. And on Tarish, we used to play football there. They haven't got that again. People want grass and lights and everything. And Point Michel, the fishing community, we still have our fishing. And up Sibuli, you get that fishing. And Mr. Tam used to have his boat doing the net. And Matt's dad used to have a boat. And Mr. Paul Toussaint, all those guys there, I remember them very well.
Wow. Nigel, I really enjoyed Carlisle. Seriously. I always knew Carlisle would be a very exciting guest to have. In fact, long ago, I told Carlisle he had to be a guest. Not now, Probably since in 2021. We started in 2020.
There's so much to talk about.
Nigel, can I have a Dominica corner ask you and Nigel Carlisle a question as we end? And Carlisle, you had better know that, eh?
Yeah, I don't know.
How old is the Dominica Grammar School? Alfred, that's something to answer.
But I don't remember offhand, but I know it's 130 or 29.
Nigel.
I don't remember offhand, honestly.
The grammar school, David know how old his school. He's talking about the school.
So what year Dominica Grammar School started, Carlisle? You can remember that?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't remember that off my head at all.
Nigel, you remember?
But I know
and you talking about Dominica Grammar School all morning.
But the Dominica Grammar School will be 133 years on the 16th of January 2026.
But I said this.
The school started in...
You were close.
So what year we started? It was 133 in 2026. Let's do some math. Boy, I never liked math.
But I used to always remember that.
25, I'll give you 12, so it's about 1888 or something.
Or something like that, yes.
1893 probably.
Because it's around the time of my birthday.
Yeah, 1890 something.
1893. 1893.
Or
in 2026 will be 143.
Yes.
So yes, 1893. I think so.
Because I used to celebrate Founders Day together with my birthday because I was born in January. I'm Capricorn, just around that time too.
Okay.
So I remember.
So we had to end on Dominica Grammar School. We started
yes.
there,
Yes, well, I mean, it's a good place to end. I mean, why shouldn't we end on a Dominica Grammar School? I mean,
Mr. Anthony Lockhart should be listening.
Mr.
Lockhart.
He always listens.
Grammar school for the year. Yes.
Put me on detention a few times, Mr. Lockhart. Put me on detention a few times.
A few times alone?
Boy.
The following students asked to report.
Jno Baptiste and Chris Bugunu.
First name they call is Carlisle, then they call the others
Lindy Joseph, Carlisle Jno Baptiste, and the names go on and on.
On and on. Yes.
But
Carlisle would know his name is being called.
But that was embarrassment.
I mean,
last question. Yes, Nigel, go.
No. I was just going to tell Carlisle it was a pleasure connecting with him. I mean, this Saturday and hearing his story and his journey from sharing the exercise books and having to cut it in two, from no shoes going to church and
buying a refrigerator for his mom,
else. And here you are today, So, my final thing for you to really be too, in terms of young people, man, I mean, you've went through a lot, and this is where you are today. So for young people who are going through stuff, what would you want to tell them?
But just before I answer that, there's this man who met me yesterday by Francis Enterprises. And he said to me, Carlisle, you remember me? I said, I remember you by my face. He said, for what you were before and to what you are now, people must not be jealous. Yesterday he mentioned that. He said you went through so much. But I'll tell you, today I have built my house. And I'm so proud. So I'm saying to people, despite the struggles that you have been through in life, never give up. And I always say to myself, to every problem that I am confronted, there's someone out there with a bigger problem than me. So when I take that, I just move on. I tell my children, it has not been an easy road for me. It's been a struggle. But today, you all are there. And Daddy will be there with you all. So anytime I can help anybody in this life of mine, I will assist. Because of the struggles that I have been through, I will never, ever say no to anyone who call on me to assist them. But we always remember, in everything, put God first.
And give thanks as well.
And give thanks.
Yeah.
There is a God. And God never fails. He never forsakes you. Always give thanks for the little that you have.
Last question, 1 minute. What do you think about CTD connecting the dots?
Ivonne, it's a wonderful program. Great program. Whoever conceptualized it, kudos to them. The stories that I've heard from people and the way you all have been able to connect people, the life stories of people, it's been wonderful. Keep it going, because I mean it's just a touching program, and it's one that people need to listen to. Very educational, very informative. Keep it up. Wonderful.
Thank you, Carlisle. Next time I want to have you on for a large group of Dominica Grammar School students.
But of course. But of course.
Because we have some work to do. There are some things.
Yes. And they're listening,
Yes.
I saw the group chat.
So we'll see what happens.
Rebecca and Michael Xavier.
I think we should bring all of them on. So
Vina Gregoire.
And not necessarily our year, when I say Dominica Grammar School students, not necessarily our year, but I think that there's more that we can do if we combine our efforts, the different years, and form an alumni association. We're not going to take what SMA started.
No, we're not.
So
No.
Thinking is this. We're going to make it bigger.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And before I go, I want to say
it's always good to improve on what the first, and on what the previous school did.
Yeah,
so it's good that SMA laid the foundation, and you can continue to build on it. Yeah, we appreciate that.
So before I go, I want to say thanks to all those who's played a part in my life, shaped me, molded me, my teachers. I have a good friend who's almost like a mother to me, Deborah Solomon of Mauro and Co. Another dear person to me, who would scold me, whenever she thinks that I would have gone wrong, and Teacher Vilna, Betilia, and my teachers, and Billy Doctrove, I can tell you, he's been, I don't know, Billy has been there. Even now and again, he would pull me and he would say to me, partner, chill out now, relax. Billy has been a real tower of strength around me.
All
I want to say to everybody, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Carlisle, and I enjoyed that discussion with you. Right, Nigel? It was good.
It was definitely
we always
connecting with Carlisle.
Ensure that we have fun whenever we have connecting the dots. It's not just about asking people questions. We want to have fun as well. But it's good to know your story. Sometimes people see where you are now. They see your glory. They read that Carlisle's vehicle was burnt.
Oh, yes.
And they some of them would say Carlisle, maybe he was too rough in umpiring and things like that. But you have to understand the story, Carlisle's story. You have to go back to where it all started. And then you can connect the dots, right, Nigel? You can create that nexus. So, Carlisle, thank you so much. So, Nigel will do it again next week. We start at 9:30. 9:30. We start at 9:30 next week until after the carnival season. Carlisle
Yes,
that caused
that's
that.
right.
So
Look
until
back
after the
to
carnival
9:30
season.
from now on.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the grammar school guy that caused that.
Yes, so from 9:30 next week, connecting the
And
dots,
that's okay.
after
That's
carnival
okay.
we'll come back to.
We appreciate
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Take care.
God bless.
Take care, Nigel.
Take care,
All
my
right.
dear.
Carlisle, get up already. I haven't even put up the live now, Carlisle. Carlisle, somebody give you a big story there, man. You have to run.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes.
Take care.
Yeah, okay, cool.